Great, so this is our last scenario. It was presented by table 16. Yeah, so flip to the back. What this proposal was a series of 3-story buildings on the Emmett Street parking lot with 1-story retail facing Milwaukee. So 44% of the built space on this site was dedicated to residential uses, while an identical amount, 44% of the site, was dedicated to green space. They also had about 9,000, a little bit over 9,000 square feet dedicated to retail. So all of the housing in this proposal was for market rate housing. At this scale, at 3-story buildings, that would produce about 47 units of market rate housing. They also proposed 20 parking spots, and they proposed those as internal parking spots. So again, some of this load, essentially, 88% of the built space is really dedicated either to residential or to green space in this scenario. So as far as the financial details for this site, the project costed about $18.2 million and had a $5.6 million gap. Despite the $5.6 million gap, this was one of our most financially viable proposals put forward. It had covered 108% of its operating and development costs through rents from the retail and from the housing. Again, the goal is to reach 120%, which is kind of a common threshold. So some of the feedback we heard from the developers here was to replacing about 13,000 square feet of green space with retail or residential would make this development fully feasible. So currently, again, this proposal has 52,800 square feet of green space, which is about, let's see, I'm not good with math. I don't know, I think 10 times Woodard Plaza. So, you know, a large portion of the site would be green space. So again, replacing it though, so essentially moving it from about 52,000 square feet to about 40,000 square feet. And 40,000 square feet is about 6 times the size of Woodard Plaza. So just to give you guys, I think, some context in terms of space, because square footage, I find, can be confusing. I see a gentleman wanting to ask a question. Yeah.
One major error of this was that this also assumed the realignment of Kennedy, like in the map proposal. So not a thought
Okay. So just to repeat his point is that this table also assumed the realignment of Kedzie. So keep that in mind. Again, we were working from the information presented to us to try to run some of these details and calculations. So if people don't have other clarifying questions, this one only has one question, so I'll move to that. The question is, are you open to reducing the green space from 52,000 square feet to 40,000 square feet and replacing it with retail or residential? Again, 40,000 square feet is about 6 times the size of Woodard Plaza outside our window. So are you open to that? A is yes, B is no, and C is unsure. Sure. It would be, the question is, are you open to reducing the green space from 52,000 square feet to 40,000 square feet and replacing it with retail or residential? So we did not, the developer did not specify retail or residential. It seemed like both of them would work in terms of making this feasible. A is yes, B is no, C is unsure. Clarifying question in the back, yeah? Sure, her question is are we talking about affordable housing or market rate housing if we were to replace the open space? And the way we ran this was because the proposal proposed fully market rate housing, so does this analysis. It sticks with the intent of the project here. So market rate housing, would you be okay with reducing from 52,000 to 40,000 square feet and replacing it with retail or residential? So raise your hands if you voted yes. No. Unsure. Someone should, yeah, okay. All right, great.